So Newcastle United are back in the Champions League for the first time since the 2002-2003 season. Eddie Howe has taken Newcastle from relegation fodder to Champions League football. And having already been linked with players like Nicolo Barella and Sandro Tonali, Eddie Howe is clearly trying to take Newcastle to that next level. So I thought, why not jump into FIFA 23, take control of Eddie Howe, take control of Newcastle, and win them a Champions League on his behalf. So let's head over now to FIFA 23 and bring some Champions League glory to the toon. So welcome everyone to the FIFA 23 Newcastle United rebuild. Now, as you can see, I've got the Champions League groups on the screen in front of me. As of real life right now, Newcastle are in the Champions League and Tottenham Hotspur are not. So what I've done is I've swapped Tottenham and Newcastle around. So Newcastle will start off in Tottenham's group from the previous year in the Champions League, if you get what I mean. We've also put Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton all in the Premier League and took Leeds, Leicester and Southampton out. So it's completely up to date with the new season. So starting off the career mode, this is the team that we have on paper, boys. And as you can see, it's actually a very, very strong team for the Premier League, but probably not strong enough for the Champions League. Bench is looking quite good. I've got Anthony Gordon, Willock, some good young talent on the bench as well. And in the reserves, we have got some decent players, especially Alan Maximan, who's got to be in that starting 11. So we've had a bit of a mess about with the first team, boys, and this is the squad that we have going into the new season. St. Maximan and Isaac and Almiron looks like a really, really good attacking three. As you know, in real life, Newcastle have just signed Sandro Tonali literally today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and sign Sandro Tonali in FIFA 23. I really, really hope we can actually get a deal done with AC Milan though. We've got £73 million to spend, so I'm really, really hoping we can actually bring Sandro Tonali in. So just like in real life, boys, we have managed to bring in Sandro Tonali from AC Milan, and it's actually pretty close to the figure Newcastle have paid for him in real life. We paid £63.5 million to Sandro Tonali. It's all of our budget gone. So we've slightly adjusted the formation to get Tonali, and he'll be sitting in front of the back four in the CDM positions. His stats are really, really good in FIFA. This is how the squad's looking going into the new season, boys. We just need a left back, then I'll be happy in this transfer window. We've got no money left though. We spent all our money on Tonali. But a loan offer coming for Elliot Anderson, lads, from Fulham. It'd be great for him to get out and play some Premier League football for another club and hopefully come back to us having developed a little bit more. We've had a £2.65 million bid come in from Galatasaray for Javier Manquillo. We're going to accept it, lads. He's free to leave the club. I've had multiple low bids come in for Matthew Longstaff. We're going to accept these, lads. He will also be leaving the club. We've had a loan offer come in for Alex Murphy, a younger academy player, lads. He will be leaving the club in this transfer window. Juventus have made a one-year loan bid for Anthony Gordon, which we're going to accept. He'll be joining Juventus, getting some valuable minutes in the Serie A. And lads, Galatasaray have come back in, right, offering us £1.2 million for Ryan Fraser. They're actually offering us back Javier Manquillo, who they've just signed from us. I have never seen that before, lads. What the hell? We've negotiated with Galatasaray, lads, and they're going to give us £4.4 million for Ryan Fraser, which we are going to accept. We've also had a bid of £5.3 million coming from Martin Dubravka, which we're going to accept as well. But lads, we've used the last of our transfer budget to sign a left back, and he is coming in from Lyon in the French league. Very, very experienced international defender. I'm really happy with this one, lads. We have brought in Nicolas Tagliafico for £23.5 million from Olympique Lyon. Got a good price from him, lads. He's a great player, and he'll go straight into our starting 11. So with that is all of our transfer budget gone, lads. I've literally bankrupted the Saudis somehow. This is how the team is looking going into the new season. We're going to simulate forward to January the 1st and hopefully see how we're getting on in the Champions League and the Premier League. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and just look at that. We are top of the Premier League. 20 played, 15 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. We are absolutely on fire in the Premier League. And we've also topped our Champions League group with ease, lads, with absolute ease. We're through along with Sporting Lisbon, and we have got RB Leipzig in the round of 16. Could this potentially have been a too easy of a team for rebuild? I just wanted to jump on the Newcastle hype. The squad's looking good, lads. Some notable growth in the team. Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes have both grown to 86 rated, both growing by 2. Botman's grown by 1 as well to 84. Isaac and St. Maximan have grown. Squad is looking excellent on paper, lads. Now, unfortunately, I've only got 784k with no money to bring any players in, so we'll be simming straight through to the end of the season. But before we do that, lads, we have got 2 absolute superstars in our academy in Ronnie Stevens and Finlay Young. Finlay Young is going to get promoted straight to the senior team and sent out immediately on loan. Ronnie Stevens is not old enough yet to be sent out on loan. And with Kieran Trippier at 32-year-old, could Finlay Young be the direct replacement that we need? And our future star, Finlay Young, will be joining Norwich on a 2-year loan. Lads, we've actually won the Premier League in our first season with Newcastle. Are you taking the piss? We've won it pipping Manchester City by 2 points, even though City beat us 5-1 on the final day. We've got Champions League football and we've won the Premier League. Are you joking? The FA Cup was won by Tottenham Hotspur. They beat Aston Villa 2-1. The Carabao Cup was won by Nottingham Forest. They beat Arsenal 4-3 on penalties. The Champions League was won by AC Milan beating Real Madrid on penalties. Where did we get to? We were knocked out in the round of 16 4-3 by RB Leipzig. Next season we've got to be better in the Champions League, boys. Arsenal beat Marseille 5-4 on penalties in the Europa League final. And AZ Alkmaar beat Fenerbahce 3-1 to claim the Conference League. And in terms of stat, lads, Alexander Isak was our star man in the league this season. He got 21 goals and 9 assists in 43 games. And just look at how good Sandro Tonali has been this season. 16 goals and 9 assists from the CDM position, lads. Looking at the starting 11, boys, great growth from Bruno, Joe Linton and Tonali in midfield. Botman's now 85 rated. Trippier's actually grown despite being 32-year-old. Alexander Isak is 84 as well. I do think, though, going into next season, we need a world-class centre-back to replace the aging Fabian Schär. And just letting you know, boys, all the players you can see listed there are going to be released at the end of their contracts. And also, Loris Karius has agreed a deal to go to Celtic on a free. So season 1 is in the history books, lads, and now we're in season 2. We're going to have a look at how much money we have got. We've got £175 million, as this could be the season. We could actually win the Champions League here in the second season. So the first order of business this season, though, is just looking through all the players who only have 1 year left on the deal. We have got a lot of contracts to renew this season, and we also need to renew Isaac's contract so he doesn't get bought for only £60 million. Lads, the first transfer bids are in, and a 4.3 and 4.1 million bid of both for Chris Wood. We're going to accept them both and see if he leaves the club. We're also going to accept a bid of 3.1 million for Northern Ireland international Jamal Lewis. We've had a 2.25 million bid coming from FC Utrecht for Kellen Watts. We're going to accept that, lads. He's no chance of getting into our first team. And lads, we have had a huge bid come in for Kieran Trippier, 42 million from Napoli. From Lazio, sorry. We are going to try and get 50 million for him. He is 32-year-old. I know he's 85 rated, but he is 32-year-old. He is coming towards the end of his career, lads. Lads, Lazio are going to accept the £55.5 million bid, lads. Kieran Trippier could be leaving the club in this window. And lads, the exodus is going to continue. We've had an £18.5 million bid coming for Callum Wilson, which we're going to accept, but we are already in the market to bring in a new backup striker. We have made the first signing of this summer transfer window, lads, and it is an absolutely outstanding centre-back from Juventus. We have signed the Colossus Bremer for £62 million, and he comes in to replace Fabian Schär in our starting 11. We've got a great price from him, lads. His defending, physical and pace, that's absolutely outstanding, lads. Let's get him straight into that first team. Now, boys, I know how much Newcastle fans absolutely adore Alan Saint-Maximin, but he's been used as a paperweight in this deal to bring in one of the most exciting wingers in world football. Boys, we have brought in Kavica Kvaratskhelia from Napoli for 23.5 million plus Alan Saint-Maximin. It's an absolutely excellent deal, boys. We've got the board, a delighted A-rated deal. Kvaratskhelia is in. One of the best players in world football, is a Newcastle United player. Boys, we have brought in Callum Wilson's replacement, and to be honest with you, lads, I'm really happy with this deal. It's a bit of a forgotten man. He had a really bad time at Everton. He's been back on loan to Juventus. It is Moise Kean who is joining Newcastle United. Now, Moise Kean in FIFA 23 is actually an excellent player. We brought him in for 25 million, which for a 23-year-old, 81 rated striker, I think that's an absolutely excellent deal. And as you can see, the board agreed to. There goes an A-rated deal for this transfer. Boys. What a transfer we have just made. Obviously, we were gutted to lose Kieran Trippier. We have seriously just splashed the cash though in signing his replacement. He is one of the best ball-playing defenders in the world. He can also play in midfield. The rumour is that he can't defend. I don't believe that to be the case. Lads, we have brought in Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool for £100 million, smashing Newcastle's record transfer. And the fact we've paid £100 million for him and we've actually got a C-rated deal says it all. This guy is world class. I know that the improvements are in the team. Just look at how good our team is, lads. Bremer and Alexander-Arnold have taken that right side of our defence to the absolute next level. Kvaratskhelia is 83 rated and 22-year-old. He is going to grow to an incredible player. And Moise Kean gives us that depth on the bench. Also, a player who's going to grow loads going into the future. We have had an incredibly successful transfer window this time round. Oh, lads, just as I thought we were having an absolutely amazing transfer window, Sevilla have met Joe Willock's transfer buyout. That's £40 million for Joe Willock. So we have still got some money remaining, lads. We will be able to bring in a good replacement for Joe Willock. So if £78 million remaining, I think just one replacement for Joe Willock is enough, and I will be very happy with how the team looks. We've had a 980k bid coming for Jeff Hendrick, 31-year-old, 69 rated. He's free to leave the club. We've had a loan offer coming from Al Nassr for Garang Akul on a 2-year loan deal. We're going to accept it, lads. He will be going out of the club. Jay Turner-Cook from the Youth Academy will be joining Seattle Sounders on a season-long loan. Lads, our final signing of this summer transfer window is one of the most exciting young centre midfielders in the world. We have brought in Ryan Gravenberch for £60.5 million from Bayern Munich. And it might be controversial, lads, but he is going to take Joe Linton's place in the first team, with Joe Linton dropping down to the bench. So this is the team that is going to take us forward into the new season, lads, and hopefully bring us some glory in the Champions League. Let's get forward and now see how we got on. Elliot Anderson will be joining FC Porto on a season-long loan, lads. Before we progress on to the end of the season, lads, I thought I'd just show you our Champions League group. We're in Group A with Bayern Munich, Benfica and Midtjylland. That's a pretty difficult group, lads, but hopefully we've got enough to get through it. So it's January the 1st, lads, and we are 7th in the Premier League. I don't have a clue what's happened, lads. But we have really fell off this season. We are only 4 points outside the top 4. But we have had a stinker in the Premier League. It's not looking good. But despite our really poor form in the Premier League, we've actually really easily topped our Champions League group. Not even losing a single game. Only conceding 3 goals in 6 games. So that's a bit bizarre, to be fair. And we've got a tie with Atletico Madrid in the round of 16 of the Champions League. And despite having £19 million to play with, we are just going to simulate straight through to the end of the season, lads. I don't actually think there's any position we can really strengthen with that money. So let's see where we are at the end of the season. So we've reached the end of season 2, boys, and we have finished 2nd in the Premier League. We've just missed out on going back-to-back. Man City beating us to the league title by literally 1 point. The FA Cup was won by Chelsea. They beat Tottenham 2-1 in the final. The Carabao Cup was won by Manchester City in an all-Manchester final. They beat Manchester United 3-2. Man City have done the treble. They've beat Real Madrid 2-0 in the Champions League final. We were knocked out by Real Madrid in the semi-finals. Doesn't get more heartbreaking than that, does it, lads? Juventus won the Europa League and Club Brugge beat Villarreal 2-1 in the Conference League final. So our standout performers this season, once again, Alexander Isak having a great season, 31 goals and 9 assists in 51. Miguel Almiron, who is 30 years old and a player we're probably going to want to replace next season, got 25 and 9. He had a great season. Kvaratskhelia had a good season, 19 and 10. Bruno had 16 and 6. Ryan Gravenberch, 12 and 10. He had a great first season. And Trent Alexander-Arnold even chipping in with 7 and 5 from defence. Lads, Emil Kraft and Jeff Hendrick will be leaving the club at the end of the season. We are not going to be renewing them contracts. Jamal Lascelles will also be joining FC Nantes at the end of the season. He's not had his contract renewed. So we are now progressing on into season 3, lads, and we have got £226 million to improve our team. So, boys, I said I wanted a new right winger to replace Miguel Almiron, and honestly, we have just brought in one of the world's best right wingers at the minute. We have brought in Rodrigo from Real Madrid for £99 million. And the fact we've paid £99 million for him and got an A-rated deal says everything you need to know about this guy. What a signing this is. So, boys, this year the board wanted me to sign a veteran player, and who else is better than David De Gea? I know he's not the best in real life, but in FIFA he's 87 rated and we've just brought him in on a free transfer. Lads, young right back Harrison Ashby will be joining Gil Vicente on a season-long loan. Lads, we have just improved our left back position absolutely massively, bringing in an incredible young player from Arsenal. We have brought in Nuno Mendes for £81 million. Now, I do feel like we might have just slightly overpaid for this guy. We've got, well, no, not really, a B-rated deal. He's got excellent pace, excellent dribbling, excellent defending, excellent physical. He can also pass the ball really well, and he now becomes our first choice left back. And with the additions of Mendes, De Gea and Rodrigo, our team is looking absolutely stacked on paper now, boys. And lads, Elliot Anderson will be going out on loan again, this time to Real Sociedad. Our Champions League group is in, boys. We've got Sporting, PSV and Galatasaray. Quite a difficult group, to be honest, lads. Should have enough to get through it, though. We're going to simulate forward now to January the 1st and see how we're getting on so far this season. So, lads, we've arrived at January the 1st and we are 5th in the Premier League. We've only lost 3 times all season, but we sit 2 points outside of the Champions League places, 2 points behind Liverpool. However, we have had an excellent run in the Champions League. We've qualified from our group of ease, playing 6, winning 4, drawing 2, losing none, and we are into the round of 16 where we are going to play Real Madrid in the round of 16. It does not get much harder than that, lads, does it? The squad is just looking outstanding, lads. We've got so much growth in the team. Tonali is 91, Bruno Guimaraes is 90, Trent is 89, Botman and Bremer are both 88 respectively. Rodrigo, Isak and Kvaratskhelia 87, 87 and 88. The team is just imperious on paper, lads, and there's no way we can improve it even with £37 million. So we're simulating now straight through to the end of the season, and hopefully we're in the Champions League final. To reach the end of season 2, boys, and as you can see, we've finished 2nd in the Premier League, narrowly missing out on top spot by 2 points to Chelsea. It was so tight, even on the same goal difference. So that's 2 years in a row we've missed out on the Premier League title by 2 points. I'm gutted. The FA Cup was won by Sheffield United of all teams. We were knocked out in round 5 by Manchester United 2-1, and Sheffield United went on to win. And we won the Carabao Cup, boys. We beat Arsenal 1-0 in the final. That's another trophy added to the trophy cabinet. And as you can see, lads, we have made the Champions League final against, once again, Paris Saint-Germain. We beat Real Madrid 4-0 on aggregate. Wow, we absolutely spanked them. In the quarterfinals, we beat by a Leverkusen team you'd expect us to be beating 5-1. And the semis, we beat Roma 2-0, and PSG and Juventus put on a 6-4 masterclass to set up a final at the Bernabeu between us and Paris Saint-Germain. Bayern Munich beat Inter 3-1 in an excellent Europa League final, and Frankfurt beat Lazio 2-1 to win the Conference League. This is how the squad is looking going into the Champions League final. As you can see, Alexander-Arnold, Bruno and Tonelli all over 90 rated. Kvaratskhelia and Rodrigo both 89 rated, so close to being 90, and so is Sven Botman. That's probably one of the best squads we've had in a rebuild so far. Let's get the job done and win this Champions League. So here we go, boys. Champions League final against PSG at the Bernabeu. I absolutely hate playing PSG, boys. They've always got Mbappe, who is an absolute god on this year's FIFA. Won the ball back high, though. Kvaratskhelia. Oh, my God, no way. We're 3 minutes in. Oh, 3 minutes in. Oh, my God. Kvaratskhelia. That's why I wanted him, lads. Win the ball back high, skin her, man, and plant it past the keeper. Wow. This guy's an absolute demon on FIFA 23. It doesn't show the skill move for Blitzer, man. But what a finish from the edge of the 6-yard box, lads. And we're 1-0 up after literally 4 minutes of the Champions League final. Does anyone else, when they get to a Champions League final FIFA, feel like they always play PSG? I think we've done 6 rebuilds so far in FIFA 23. And I've played Juventus once and PSG every other time. Oh, shit. Oh, what a block by Bremer. Wow, that was a big chance that for PSG. And Arnold up to Rodrigo. Just tackle it easily. They've got each other's way. Oh my God, we could get another here. Pull back. Gravenberch. Oh, it's straight at the keeper. That all come from a massive mess up. The PSG players. Middle of the park. Oh, what a ball by Trent. Gravenberch. Could get a second. Come on. What a finish, lad. That's all from that ball from Trent, lads. It's 2-0 just on the stroke of half-time. What a pass, though, from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Absolute incredible ball. Great strength from Gravenberch to shrug off his man. And he just puts a torpedo into the top corner. We take a 2-goal lead in the second half. Mbappe. Oh, he's never getting past Bremer, lad. What a player Bremer is. Oh, my God. Are you joking me? Are you joking me? Alexander-Arnold. Oh, what a ball. Rodrigo's in. Into Isaac. There you go, lads. There's your winner. It's 3-0, boys. What a counter-attack. The Toon are winning the Champions League. There's no way back now for PSG. Incredible ball from Trent to release Rodrigo. Brilliant first-time cross into Isaac, and he is never missing from there, lads. It's 3-0. Oh, shit. Gundogan. Oh, great save by David De Gea. Would be a little more than the consolation for PSG though if they did get one back. So them score. Oh, that's a P-roller. And there's the full-time whistle, boys. We have won the Champions League with Newcastle United. Get in there, the boys. The Toon are the champions of Europe, and that is another rebuild successfully done. Goals from Kvaratskhelia, Gravenberch and Isaac win us the European trophy. But a standout performance, lads, from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Easily the man of the match with some unbelievable passing on display. Is this a sight we could actually be seeing soon, lads? You know, the Saudis look like they're spending really decent money on very shrewd signings at Newcastle recently. They've just brought in Tonali in real life, Bruno Guimaraes, Isaac. The team is looking, Botman as well. Team's looking incredible on paper. And I think one or two more additions in the transfer window, and I think they can actually be competitive in real life next season in the Champions League. And Tonali, a 91 rated talisman, will lift the trophy. Champions League is in the Toon. So a quick look to the squad stats before we end this career mode, boys. And Alexander Isak and Rodrigo were absolutely outstanding this season. Isaac getting 38 and 10. Rodrigo getting 35 and 18. What a signing Rodrigo turned out to be. Kvaratskhelia getting 24 and 17. I'm just going to point out, Isak's 25, Rodrigo's 24, and Kvaratskhelia is 24. This team could go on for years. These could all easily be 95 rated players. So that'll mark the end of this Newcastle United rebuild. If you've enjoyed it, guys, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get that to me. And in the next one, I will try and do a team a little bit more difficult. Thanks for watching, boys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.